Hey,
Hi.
how are you?
Excellent. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Woo,
I'm
we're
so
here.
excited for today.
I am excited for today too.
I mean, it is Work Wednesday. I mean, the fact that we're excited for working is, I mean, we're always excited to work.
We got work done though today.
We did a lot of shit done. Um, Happy 420.
Happy 420.
Wait a few minutes. The Cannabis Closet with CannaQueen and MJ for those that are tuning in later. Welcome, welcome. Thanks
Welcome,
for
welcome.
joining us. Um,
I always hate this part when we're
I
just like
know. Well, let's
waiting for a couple of people to get in here. There's next.
this is where
Oh,
we
he
need
never
a
lets us down.
I know. We'll always have Nexus. Um so we would be like playing our disclaimers and our music and I'm telling you, I'm gonna be like it's gonna sound like the South Park thing. Those guys that's I guess they're all yeah. Oh,
Well, Brian said that he would work on something, so he's finishing up classes. It's the end of the semester for a lot of you. Some of you are about to graduate soon, so congratulations on that. I know a lot of people out there have been working really hard to get through this semester. In the last couple years, it's been difficult with all the COVID precautions and everything. So I commend you for making it through. You guys did a good job.
I think I feel like for some people it changed in a good way. For some people it allowed them to be closer to home if they needed to be, but still attend classes.
Right.
And a friend who attended UF and then was like, I'm moving to New York, and like while she was doing classes at UF she moved to New York.
Nice. I guess, yeah, it just it gives people more options for how they're going to work and how they're going to structure their lives. I was reading an article recently, I think it was on LinkedIn or something, about how not only are people demanding higher wages, but they're demanding that they be able to do jobs that were doable over this COVID, um, over while COVID's been happening, that have been doable at home to continue to be done at home.
Yes. I
And
mean,
they're
I
like,
feel
we
that,
don't want to come into the office. There's no need to do that. We've proven that.
on a work level, I agree. On a human level, I think that some people need human contact and or human face to face, and I know.
I think it was written from the aspect of, our family has now adapted to this life and our kids aren't in school right now. So somebody has to be home while somebody else is out at work. Whereas if we're working from home, then we're in the home and we can get the work done. And also our kids, if there's a dangerous situation or whatever, we're right here to handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also know parents that are like, holy shit, I don't want to be at home anymore. I need to go into
Send them home. Send them to school. Send them back.
I need to go in the office. Kids can stay home and wreck it. I need to go in.
Yeah. My joint keeps going out, but I'm going to get it down to the nub because this stuff is good. It's Casey. No. Casey Jones. Yes, this is Casey Jones.
Continuing on with the Casey. I left Casey out in the other room. I've got some super lemon haze today.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, how long do I know? I feel like I want to go right into it.
I know, right? We do have a couple things. Let's hit those headlines real quick because there's a couple cool headlines that I wanted to just hit real quick before we get into our Work Wednesday, our Witchy Wednesday. I'm super excited about this show. We have a couple guests. One is in the waiting room right now. And then we have another coming soon. She's finishing up an appointment. We have a third potentially coming. I haven't gotten a exact confirmation, but she does have the link to get in here. So it's going to be a fun show. We're going to talk about light work, tarot card reading, One of our guests does a reading with rods. So I really want to talk about that because this is something new to me and I'm not very, very familiar with it. And so I'm curious about it. And then, of course, we want to talk about, how can we avoid being scammed? I mean, bottom line, in any situation, we want to avoid
Right.
that.
I think being scammed, but also the takeaway and the positive part is the energy and how it moves around. I think that's what
Right.
and how it's beneficial to us, and how readings and spiritual guidance and understanding that movement of energy and how it plays a part in all of us, from us as humans, our plants, everything. So what
Right.
we breathe out, they breathe in. What they breathe out, we breathe in. And
Symbiotic.
yes. And so, but that's energy. And I think people don't always think in terms of what they can't see.
We're just too busy thinking in terms of everything that is tangible, right?
Cool.
Yeah. So, but I did want to go over a couple headlines because there's some cool things. Actually, one was brought to our attention by Janet, by Shorty. Y'all remember Shorty, right? She ain't been over here in a while, but she's doing good. And she sent us this article, and actually, it's in Marijuana Moment. New York City opens the first safe consumption sites for illegal drugs in the U.S. So, how do we feel about that in Christy, you want to come in here? You want to talk with us? Let's bring Christy in. We're just gonna bring her in. Hey, what's up, Christy? She's like,
right,
wait,
they're right at the right
wait,
moment.
I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. I know. I was like, let's bring her in. She's shoving food in her mouth. It's okay.
But I think that, like you said earlier, having a safe access and being able to monitor, understand again what happens when you don't have it, or I think that I think that they're important. I didn't know that they're. I guess I feel like Florida has something similar, maybe.
Yeah. I think sometimes I think there might be some states that have experimented with this, but I without reading the article, just with the headline, I am in favor of legalizing all drugs and regulating and having a safe space for consumption and administration if necessary, where it's clean and safe and regulated, and there's a space where you can talk about um, recovery. And so I think it just creates a space for that. There have been other countries that have done this, and it has helped decrease drug use in those countries. So because here's the thing, the problem for me is that we've criminalized drug use. Like, it's criminal to be a drug user, when a lot of drug use is self-medicating, and we really need to address that as a whole. It's got a lot to do with mental health issues, of course, and trauma. And I don't think we should be punishing victims for using drugs. That said, if you do something while you're on substance, you still should be held accountable for illegal acts done under the influence. But just being under the influence or having an addiction is not it shouldn't be a crime. It shouldn't be criminal. So I think this is a good step for New York. Pretty exciting. You guys can check out that article on Marijuana Moment. What did you guys have anything? Everybody's all looking at me like,
you pretty much said it all. I mean, I agree with you. I've been there with addiction myself, so I know how it goes on that end. And I definitely think that having a safe space and being able to talk about things is very, very much needed, instead of being persecuted. And, we need help.
right.
We need help. We don't need to be punished more than we already are.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. You're already punishing yourself and your body and your mind.
Yep.
And so I think this changes it, right? You get a helping hand now.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's how love works. I think when you address things in that aspect, like caring about people and people's well-being, and not treating people who consume substance like they're less than, like they're
I think it
somehow.
opens up for education about substances, and why it turns to abuse, and why, and again, where things were made illegal, why we're now seeing or getting to talk more openly about different ways to, again, deal with trauma, deal with past issues, deal with health, and it's not just cannabis,
Right.
but having other that people, it's funny on our intake records, it says that, do you use, we asked, do you use cannabis recreationally? And people are like, what? Then we also ask, are you using anything else recreationally? Because
I just feel like
it's a weird, question, but that's the only, it's like, do you use any, it's like, we don't say, do you use illegal substances? Because it's
it's so funny. I'm just thinking, and I know it's not the same because we do have an adult use market where people can buy not within a medical program, right? And then we have the medical market for cannabis, and they are the same plant, and they are grown in the same spaces, and they accomplish the same thing, right? And we say often here that we believe that all cannabis use is medicinal use. Like if you're using cannabis, even if you're using it to have fun, it's a stress reliever, and it relieves anxiety. It helps with social anxiety and stuff like that. So you can calm down and just kind of like have a good time in a social setting. Even though it crosses that line, but like, we don't ever go, hey, are you partying with your Percocet? Like we're not like asking, like, are you taking your, I don't know, your Xanax to chill at a party? We're not asking that
I
question to
know,
people.
right? Like,
Like,
what you taking tonight?
yeah. Like, are you taking Adderall to have a good time? Like, we don't ask those questions. We know those drugs are used illicitly in those ways. But we don't just, like, I don't know. It seems off to me.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, ours is for medical intake, not just, it's not on my like dating resume, like, hey, what you taking?
Yeah. Can you please list all of your medications? Thank you. Oh, so much funny. So yeah, this is I think this is good news. This came out a day ago. It is in Marijuana Moment. If you check out Marijuana Moment, let's see. It's a harm reduction service that advocates have long argued could serve a critical role in reducing the overdose crisis. And again, there's been studies and proof in other countries where programs like this have been established and are working. And so this absolutely, there's a good reason for why they think that. The first two sites will be operating on Tuesday, located at exiting facilities that provide syringe exchange services, and that's coming from the mayor's office. So Mayor Bill de Blasio's office has announced that. So I think this is a great step in helping people. I think this is going to be you're going to see some changes happening because of these programs. So I hope that it builds. I hope that it continues to get funding, and I hope that they get to expand their facilities. So, yeah. If you guys have any opinions about that in the audience, please say so. Thank you, Carlos. Please say so. Please comment and like, share, follow, all of that stuff. Today we are doing a show on light workers, but first we wanted to cover a few headlines, give people an opportunity to get in here, and we are waiting for at least one, possibly two more guests. So we'll give them time to get in here soon. So that one's a good story. So definitely check that out about that. And there was one other one that I think, there was a veteran story, and that's one I wanted to talk about because it's pretty important to me. Bipartisan lawmakers are pushing the VA to allow medical marijuana access for veterans as soon as possible. So let me see if I can click on this. Yes. The U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs must urgently institute policy change to ensure that military veterans can access cannabis for therapeutic use. A bipartisan coalition of congressional lawmakers said in a new letter sent today. Writing to the VA Secretary Dennis McDonough on Wednesday, the co-chairs of the Congressional Cannabis Caucus urged the official to consider a change in the policy to allow medical cannabis for VA patients and act swiftly and implement this change as soon as possible. The lawmakers pointed to surveys showing high rates of opioid addiction and PTSD amongst the veteran community, and that research has shown that cannabis can be safe and effective in targeting pain management. Additionally, cannabis has proven beneficial in managing PTSD and other health issues, including MS and seizure disorders. Despite its efficacy, antiquated bureaucratic red tape continues to deny veterans these life-altering treatments. I'm not going to read the whole article, but this is pretty good that we have bipartisan support on this, and they're starting to push the VA for this. So hopefully we start seeing some results. The VA starts listening to our Congress, the people we voted into office. My mutt is there. She is. Karma, hi. No, you're not going to eat her cookie. Like,
Mine's sitting across from me today. She got smart. She like crawled in across the way.
So yeah, I just wanted to look over those two articles because I thought they were pretty important, pretty good information out there. If you want to read that letter in full, this was also under Marijuana Moment. The headline is Bipartisan Lawmakers Push VA to Allow Medical Marijuana Access for Veterans. So be able to find it that way. Yay. Well, I guess we're going to get started, and our other guests should be arriving soon. I'm going to go ahead and shoot her a text to let her know that we're ready for her whenever she's ready to come on through. Okay. And in the meantime, Christy, can you introduce yourself to our audience? Some people already know you. They love you already. But to those who don't know you, tell us who you are. Are you muted? If she's on. Can we hear? There.
Christy.
Is she a little frozen? Uh-oh.
Coming. Witchy.
You're a little frozen.
Oh, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. Hi.
Back up.
I'm gonna bring Shannon in. Shannon just got here, so we're gonna go ahead and bring her on through. And hey, Shannon.
Hi guys, how are you?
Doing fantastic. Christy, your what do we call it? We
max headrooming, T-painting. It's not me today. It's not me.
So we're going to give you a second, and it's okay because this show is known for what? Technical difficulties.
Bitches.
So that's what happens.
It's always like that. I swear it should. Let me do that.
You're good, Shannon. You're perfect, actually. We got a little max headroom over on Christy. For those of you who are way younger than me, that would be T-painting. So.
Okay. Well, hi guys. How is everybody?
Fantastic. So I'm gonna let Shannon introduce herself, and let's. Oh, she's coming back and forth. We're gonna let Shannon introduce herself, and then we'll see if we can get a good connection on Christy here in a second.
Well, I'm just Shannon. I'm nobody special, to be very honest. I'm very known in the spiritual community, more so on Facebook. You guys can see now it's going up in numbers on TikTok, but I've been more so in the Facebook world for years. We have my own group over there. It's safe.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll talk about what you do and how you work in the metaphysical realm and what you're known for in these social media platforms. And yeah, tell us a little more.
I, you know, so I'm different than I think a lot of other people where they're defined to one part of what they do. I'm not like that. I talk to the dead. I use dowsing rods when I want to. I don't need them. I have multiple decks of tarot, but I can read mostly just off of you and your energy and basically a question, even an email. So
Oh, wow.
you can ask the basic question and I'll pull the coordinating deck, whatever I'm told to pull, and read from there. Sometimes I don't even use cards. You'll see me on my lives. I just scroll and answer, scroll and answer. I don't even question it. I don't, nothing, just go. So,
Interesting. Interesting. Now I have questions because you are the first person that I've ever heard that does the dowsing rods. And I don't know
okay.
anything about that. So can you tell us about that and how those work?
So, it's funny. I never saw anybody use them until I did. And now I see them everywhere. And I'm like, hey, y'all, everybody uses them. Everybody was like closet users. So dowsing rods are actually, in the old Wicca days, and even in history, you'll see that they use them to find water in the ground because it contacts energy. And what's flow of water, but it's constant energy that's running through, correct? And most of it will go through limestone or some sort of quartz or granite that'll charge it. So therefore, if you're a medium or a psychic and you're true, then these will actually work for you. You don't move your hands. I know you'll see a lot that go like this, or there was some people that said it goes like this, but just your energy alone will make it work. Just spirit uses you as a vessel rather than you answering anything. You're kind of floating. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So that's why when you don't know what you're doing, you gotta be careful because you're a vessel. It's like you're an open, hi, how you doing for anybody. So
Right, meaning it opens you up to all sorts of energy, not
yes,
just what you think is good.
it absolutely does. We just got done cleaning house today because we had someone that came a little bit too long. So yeah. You have
Yeah.
to be careful when you mess with this stuff. So you just gotta be careful. My opinion.
So I'm still on the rods because I'm so
I love you.
intrigued
Go
by
ahead.
this. I'm so intrigued by this. So how do you read through the rods? How does
Rods only work if you're asking yes or no questions.
okay.
So, and I will be very honest. Rods are probably 90% of the time right. You'll see me disagree with them. I will be like, I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
Because in true reality, any medium or psychic has that energy power to pull it to a yes or pull it to a no. So if I'm like, it goes to yes, and I'm going, I think that might have been more something. I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
You'll know in your heart pull that it's just the wrong answer
Mm-hmm.
instead of, and usually they don't, to get it to bounce like this, you're either really powerful or not being able to use it properly, but it's hard to use them in other words. Like, watch.
Yes, I want to watch. I've
So
never
when you look at dowsing rods, when I first purchased them, I was like thinking that they were solid metal, that you can move, correct? But it's actually not. It's a loose piece. It actually travels completely all the way around. This spins, so your hand has no control over which way the rods actually swing at all.
right.
So you can sit here and hold it, but it'll just swing due to energy back and
Okay.
forth.
And so then people ask you yes or no questions, that energy flows through you and is
To the
answered
rods.
through the
Mm-hmm.
rods.
Yep,
Interesting.
basically.
And you
So
said it's about 90-ish% that you've seen they were right.
yeah, because you have to be careful when you're answering with rods. You can't just when it comes to really personal questions, like I think I got one where was my sister and my husband cheating together, and it went to yes. I was like, okay, but I got to read to make sure. Like, I don't want to just leave you hanging on that. That's kind of wrong.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful because you have to be able to back up your yes or no answers with knowledge. And if you don't have the knowledge, like sometimes I'll go, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't see that part, or maybe that part's not even written into the future, so you can't even see it anyway, no
Right.
matter what.
Right.
So rods are just by energy alone. Anybody
Interesting.
can try to use them, but to be accurate, not everybody will be accurate. In all honesty, it's kind of like everybody reading their own tarot cards.
Right.
You don't want to
Yeah.
read it for yourself because you'll be inaccurate in your information.
Yeah.
And how you read
Because you're already in a biased way. Yeah.
You are. Like I do that. I'll pull my own cards, but I send it to a reader to read. I'm like, okay, this is what I get. And she's like, okay, what'd you read? And I'm like, well, everything's gonna be great. Everything's gonna be fine. And she's like, no, hold on, sit down. And I'm like, oh shit. Don't tell me. So yeah, you always read with your own wants and needs and hopes and desires
Right.
into what you read.
Right. Well, welcome back, Christy.
Thank you.
Bye.
Hopefully I've got it working now.
You got it working. It's perfect right now. Yeah. So can you want to introduce yourself to our listeners?
Yeah, I'm with Christy. I'm an intuitive witch. I do card readings, life coaching. I'm a massage therapist. I'm a Reiki master. I'm a priestess. Just kind of an eclectic little witch.
How long have you been on your journey? When did you realize that you felt something stronger or could help people with your
just a decade ago. Probably around almost 11 years now.
Wow.
Okay.
And I want to pose this question to both of you because I'm super curious about this. What was it that made you realize that you had a gift for light work? Either one of you can answer. Who wants to answer first?
Go ahead. I'll let her go first. That's fine.
I don't really know. I grew up Southern Baptist in the North Georgia mountains. So I didn't know any of this stuff. But when I got older, I was looking for that something that I needed to fill that hole, but it just nothing was quite right.
Mm-hmm.
And then a friend kind of introduced me to paganism, and it took off from there. And it turns out that a lot of this stuff kind of can weave in together with different things and beliefs and religions. And
yeah,
I think it kind of just all boils back down to the same thing, that love, that energy, that universal spirit.
Connection with nature.
It manifests in so many different ways. And it's up to us to, kind of portray that in a way that is loving and accepting and things like that. So I've been with my coven now for probably 6, 7, 8 years, somewhere in there. And I'm excited to get home and be back with them. So I haven't really done a lot since I've been in Florida in the past 2.5 years, because I don't have my community, and I realize how important that community is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
But yeah,
I'm glad that you're going to be able to get back to them soon. That's a plan that you have, right?
Yes.
So excited for you.
Yeah, I will be back for our in bulk celebration in February. So yeah, I can't wait.
Awesome. That's really cool. What about you, Shannon? What was your what was it that happened, or was there something that happened, or was it just a natural evolution into light work? What What was it for you?
You know, I always wonder if anybody has a natural like walk into it, like they're just
Hmm.
like they know it. I'd have to say spirit I've seen my whole life, but I saw them as spiders when I was a kid. So I had
Hmm.
no idea that they were. So I had fear of spiders. I still don't we don't do spiders still. But now I understand what they are. But when you're in toxic relationships or environments your whole life, it's kind of hard to figure out and go, oh yeah, that's exactly what the problem is, or that's exactly what I'm seeing. I'm not crazy. But honestly, I didn't full gift until I decided to let go of a toxic marriage. At that moment, from then on, I just read until it like it stopped. It doesn't. It will never stop. So I just don't. Whatever knowledge comes, whatever books I read. Um, I'm not in a coven or anything like that. I can't say I'm that Reiki. I do a little bit of it, not a lot. So I just very solo, just psychic off to the side kind of thing, just doing my thing. But it's been my whole life giving active message where I could actually say I knew what I was talking about. I would say 4 years ago, immediately. I was doing it in a 420 group with a
Yeah.
bunch of girls. So I was safe and I was like smoking the bowls and just doing my card readings. And I was like, wow, I know what the fuck I know what I'm doing. Whoa, wait a
Yeah.
minute. Okay, am I crazy? It was kind of like, and you always question things. You're like, I don't know that. How do, and then you'll see things and you're like, I don't know what that bus means. I don't, you'll just
Right.
know and you just can't question it. And when you stop questioning it, it's,
I
and
want whatever that is, because I have a very strong intuition that I don't even listen to, and then it's always after the fact or right in the middle of the fact that I'm like, you knew this was going to happen and
set
you could
every
have walked
psychic
away
in the
from it, but
world.
instead you wanted this other thing to happen, so you stayed here and denied that you knew this was going to happen. And so I think that's like my work right now is trying to like listen to myself and listen to that energy. I feel like that's
Well, we
very
tend
difficult
to, you tend to put rose colored glasses on when you're trying
every time.
to, because we try to fix. That's what we want to do. We just want love, like just know, just listen, just love, just hear, just that. And you can't, you just got to trust it and just go, okay, you know what? It is what it is. Everything happens for a reason. And if it's up here and if it's in your hindsight and your imagination, it's truth. Just go with it. You have to trust it. If you question it, it holds your gifts back. Like you just have to be like, okay, that's the reality. I'm just saying, you may not like it, but this is the truth.
Yeah.
Period. And own it, because it's the reality. And it's a gift and a curse.
Yes, it
It
is.
really
I would
is.
say that. I hear a lot of people say that
It
that
really
do
is.
this as part of their living or yeah,
Or
that
even not part of the living, knowing that they have a gift, but not channeling or using that energy, in this way, or or keeping, it to
Mhm.
not to themselves, but just again, everyone, they're light workers. There are different, all different sorts. Just because Witchy Christie is one doesn't mean Shannon has to be the same. I think for anyone that's tuning in, this is our metaphysical Witchy Wednesday. And we're really excited to just talk about this, because the misunderstanding about what the metaphysical is, what psychics are, what tarot readings are. There's a lot of misinformation or play around it. I think again, sensationalism with what's on television and TV shows, and but then what we personally have experienced, myself and my sister have a reader in Florida that she goes back to every time she visits, and her actually name is Christy as well. But
Uh-huh.
and that's why I was like, is it Christine? I was like, nope, it's not. But and so yeah, I'm really, again, I'd not really experienced or heard anything about dowsing rods either. or even you would be my first to event that is a part of a coven that, again, it's not a movie. And that
I have a question with the dowsing rods. Do you do like I've only seen it once, and it was like I was flipping through it like TikTok the other day, actually, because I was like saying, "Oh my God, she does this, and I want to know more about this." And then my phone was like, "Oh, do you now?" Here, so I came across the live. I stayed for a second. She was yesing, knowing, yesing.
Okay.
But she was doing it just for people who, and I don't know her legitimacy. I'm going to be honest with you. Again, it was somebody I came across, but do you do like a full reading for like a person on with that, or is it just like
on my lives?
No, I mean it just in general. Would you ever do like a full reading with never?
No.
Because it's too yes and no, it's too black and white, right?
Yeah. I mean, if they requested it, I guess I could, but it's the yes and no. I mean, these are just basically a tool, and it's basically a tool for y'all, not even me. I don't need them. Like, I know yes or no. I don't. This is more so for y'all, and basically like confirmation or validation, I guess, for me. But when you do a personal read, we can focus on one thing, or we focus on this, or there's a series of questions. Some just have a list, like they got 20 minutes. They go through their list and they ask questions, and we go through them and answer them, whether they're yes or no. I mean, you could do it, but it would be boring with just dowsing rods.
That's what I thought too, but I wasn't sure because, like I said, it's just like a new idea to me. And I was at the chiropractor today, and I was talking about this show because I was super excited to do this. And and we were talking about the people who look for the water with the rods. And I was like, yeah, I was like, yeah. So we know about that kind of energy flow. I mean, you can use I think they use like a willow branch. I think is the type of tree you have to use, and then you use this, and it's a
because the
it's like a
willow goes towards the water.
It's like a Y shaped too. And there's like it has to be a certain. It has to be a like certain, not dimensions necessarily, but like thicknesses and stuff. It can't be like, anyways. So we were talking about that. I don't know how to
do it, but my dad does that.
He does.
That's
for
awesome.
water.
Water divining, like, is that what it's called?
Like yeah.
That's a very common thing in Southern Appalachia.
Yes.
is dowsing for water, especially with the older generations. That's how they would go. Like when their well went dry, that's how they would go and know where to dig for a new well.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. It's such an interesting thing. It's a stick.
It's nature connecting to nature. I think that's, again, what we're talking about here is this is nature connecting to nature and energy and finding and locating that energy.
Yes. So like for me, I would be that way for like when I have a reading, I want a general reading, like to see how life is going, but like I definitely want to sit down and like be like, okay, what about this? What about this? Is this going to work out? How about this? Blah, 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 And I know that, listen, I just want to tell the audience too, okay, and I want to cover something that's a little sticky. But I want to tell the audience too that I know that, even though we have, like, if we have a reading, right, and we're told something is going to happen or possibly going to happen, or this looks like the navigation for that, or however, remember that you are in control of your future. You can make things happen however you want from right here in your brain.
Free will of choice.
It's exactly so. While that may be a destination of your timeline, you can diverge off of that timeline. And just because that happens doesn't make your reading a necessarily false reading, right? But I do want to talk about this bit where the 90s kind of ruined this, and it is starting to thankfully come back into a positive light, if you will. But we ruined psychics in the 90s. We put Miss Cleo on TV, and it was like over for
Oh my
everybody, right? It kind of puts a bad taste in people's mouths about things, right?
Right.
Is there like are there people out there doing this maybe for the wrong reasons or scamming people? I don't like to use that word. It seems so harsh, but like are there people that don't have I don't know.
Can
Some of
you
it
be a card reader and not have a spiritual connection? Do you think that it's as valid? Like if someone were to just pick up a tarot card deck, there's meanings to these cards. We know this, and what and how it connects to the person that again that you're actually reading for. So if you don't have that connection, can you still just read cards?
Do you want to comment first, Christy?
Yeah, sure. I will. I think it's about intention. Because one of the first things I do when I get a deck is I toss the book aside and I go through every card and see how it feels to me. Because whatever, is in the book is the artist's feeling and the artist's representation of the book. So I do think that anybody could pick up a card and get a message from it. However, I wouldn't say that I could go and pick up a card here and be like, oh, hey, MJ, blah, 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 this is your future. That's not, but if I were to pick it up and I see something on here that jumps out at me, sure. But yeah, I think it's about the intention. Are you doing this from a place of love? Are you doing this from a place of service? Are you doing this to help someone, to truly help someone and not for personal gain?
right. And that's not to say that people aren't going to charge for their services and
Right.
time.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
That's to say that you're not taking advantage of somebody.
Absolutely,
Because
yeah.
they want something, they believe something, you're telling them what they want and what they believe in order. So there are people that out there doing that. Is there any way that people could maybe avoid those types of readers, or like people who are out there just telling you what you want to hear so that they can get their money and move on? Can you tell? Do you know?
I would say if they guarantee that they can tell your future, anybody that says I'm going to tell your future, because like we were talking about earlier, you can see, because whenever I'm doing my readings, I never say this is your future, this is what's going to happen. I explain that these are energies that could possibly come into play depending on how other things work out. So it's just kind of more of a, hey, heads up, this is what could happen if this keeps happening.
Right.
But yeah, if somebody's going to guarantee an answer, or that to me, I can't guarantee. There's, I can do my best, but I can't guarantee I'm going to get an answer from you. If I don't get what you're looking for, then I'll help you find somebody else. And it all goes back to ethics, being ethical. Right. If you're looking for a certain kind of reading and I can't give you that reading, then it's my job to help you find someone that can give you the reading.
Right.
Like, mediumship. Mediumship is very sporadic with me, especially with other people. So if somebody came to me and said, hey, can you get in touch with this spirit with me? I could try, but I'm not going to guarantee that it's going to work. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say, hey, I'm not so confident in my skills. Let me pass you over to Shannon here. Because I trust that her abilities would be better for you.
I was going to say,
you said say something to you about that, right? Because you can connect with them. You don't need to send them anywhere. You just have to trust your abilities more, because you have all of that. You just have to be like, okay, I do see this. He did have cancer. You're right. I'm not crazy. Okay, this makes sense. You have that full ability. It's all there.
What is your
Yeah.
opinion
Oh,
on sussing out the bad from the good?
So, I mean, personally, we all get sucked into the TikTok world, right? Where we're scrolling on the lives, and I see a lot, and I see a lot of genuine, authentic, true intentions. You can always tell them apart. I personally, I see lots of fakes. I just stay to my business. You know, I'm not a drama starter, but you can see them. You notice them right away. You notice their intentions. You know, energy does not come easy. So if you have someone doing a 12, 15, 20-hour live, some crazy, like I manage an hour and a half. Lucky. It's like running a 10-mile marathon. You're at the end of the day, you're tired, you're hungry.
Right.
Like, I want to take a bath. I'm dying.
Yeah.
So you can tell by the true intentions on the psychic when they're like, okay, yeah, you know, you can tell by replies, just by the sensitivity, just I can't say sensitivity. I'm not sensitive, but you know what I mean. Like you just tell.
Yeah.
I can tell.
Is it for the
Everybody
person?
When you've given and spent and you cannot give anymore, and you will, take
I'm
that
like,
time.
Because I have seen a couple people that are on lives for like all day long.
I can't do
It
that.
seems very intense to me.
Some people may be able to do that. Maybe they're just really powerful, but personally, I'm like, I'm spent. You got me at 2 hours. You're lucky.
So stay away from guarantees, ladies and gentlemen, or people that are consistently agreeing with everything that you want to happen. And things like that, I think and then, try to pay attention to how they interact with others. Also, if you have an ability to do that, because that's going to really tell you who they really are, when they think nobody's like really paying attention, Shannon, you said that you do talk to people who are no longer in this realm.
Yeah.
Is that something that comes to you naturally? Is I'm sure it's an energy drain for sure. Is it, and does it happen for you all the time, or?
Honestly, all the time, if I talk to them, I'll try to contact them for other people. Sure, so per se. Sometimes they're here, sometimes they're not. I always tell people 90% of the time I can, but you never know with spirit, because there is rebirth. When there's rebirth, all you have is an energy reading, not an actual energy. You can't really talk to someone that's not here anymore. They're back. So there's I always try to let people know to be careful with that part, because they're even us mediums who can see them on an average all the time. Like somebody has an uncle here. I don't know who it is that passed or something, because he's been bugging me, but you have them here all the time. Either way, it's just whether they're reborn or not. So you can't guarantee. Truthfully.
My uncle passed about 5 years ago. Today's his birthday.
That's interesting. I was like, it could have been mine too, because mine passed in January this year.
I don't know why he keeps showing me my black tourmaline stone. I've been wanting to grab it all day. I've been sitting here. I'm like, where is it? I keep looking. He's like, where is it? He's the smart pants. He has a sense of humor with him. I'll tell you that much.
Interesting.
But he's been here the whole time. So
that's interesting.
He needs to trust her gifts more, though, because you talk to him. You can see him. Why wouldn't you be able to see others? Just so you know. You're supposed to elevate your gifts. Understand?
Look at that.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is how people talk to each other.
Did your grandma just pass too? Or did she go before?
About 5 years ago as well.
Same time? Okay. She's there too. Okay. Just says something. Stay true to your intention. Stay true to your belief. Never question your abilities. It's been passed down through generations. Why are you questioning anything?
I love it.
remember your crystal knowledge too.
I love that that's happening right here. My uncle passed in January, so when you said somebody's uncle, and I was like, no, I don't want it to be mine. And and then when she said it was his birthday today, I knew it was hers. And I love that you're encouraging that gift too, because you haven't been practicing since you've been in Florida, and like not consistently. And so yeah, and you're clearly wanting it back. You're running back to a place where you feel safe to do it.
Yeah, and I've learned a lot in the last 2.5 years. I went to school, got my massage therapy license, so I'm going back with a lot more knowledge, and I'm excited to see what I can offer to my small little Appalachian town now.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of empaths fall into like body work too, because you do a lot. You do the body work and you do the Reiki too. Can you tell us, for those who don't know what that is, can you tell our audience what that is?
Reiki is universal energy. It's like a healing. It originated in Japan, and it was brought overseas over time, and it's kind of blown up and gone mainstream now, but used to it was very, very underground, very expensive to learn. Like when it first came over here, I think it was like the 70s is when she finally started teaching, and she was charging like $10,000 for that was for the master attunement, which is the 3rd level. And because she wanted it to be respected. Right. So I do that's a whole other subject, but yeah, it's basically the way that I describe it is I am a straw, and the good stuff from the universe comes through me and out of my hands into you. So
it's like like a passing of energy.
Yeah, like a laying on of hands, and you're basically you're a vessel for that energy. You open yourself up and allow that to flow through, allow that to channel. And again, that's something to do with pure intention. Do it with pure love. You cannot use energy like that, like healing energy, Reiki. You cannot use it for bad. Right. Because it's pure love. It is pure white light.
My best friend's daughter does Reiki, and she's very in tune. She is, you can see it, you know what I mean? Like what you were saying, Shannon, like you can see from certain people. I'm pointing the wrong direction, I promise, but you can see the energy, like it literally comes out of her. And she's always kind of been this like really intuitive person, I think. And so I'm glad that she's kind of getting in tune with what's going on with her and using those gifts, because she's very good at it. So for those who would like to book a reading with you, Christy, how can they get in touch with you to book a reading with you? Are you doing readings right now? I should first ask, because I know you're in the middle of moving and such.
Right now, not right now. I'm probably going to be taking like the month off, because we are doing this big move. Back to Georgia from Florida here. But once we get settled, I'm definitely going to get some stuff going up. I've got some big ideas brewing around in my head. So
well, send us the information so that we can post it on our website. We're working on our websites right now, and we're going to have a little spot to post all of that kind of promotional stuff from people who have been on the show, past, present, and future. But you guys can find her on TikTok, Witchy Christie. Her name is on the screen right here. And she's got some great content. She's a member of the High Council, a group of creators working together to make more creations. All of us are in a predicament like with Christy right now, where she's getting ready to move, and everybody's Dusty's finishing up with school right now. And so we're getting our stuff together, but we're still working together as a group and coming up with good ideas. And we're ready to implement them as soon as everybody has a timeline for it. So it's pretty exciting. So yeah, go check out Witchy Christie. Go check out her content. Make sure you follow, all of that stuff for her. And Shannon, I know you are actively doing readings right now. Can you tell us what services you offer and how we can find you?
Well, we have right now, I'm kind of booked through January. We're doing February booking right now, but we're doing we do 20-minute readings. So you have 20 minutes where you can book. So we do it I do 4 days a week right now. I won't do any more than that. Like that's already adding an extra day more than I wanted. So I'm already like, oh, Shannon, stop it. But if you email us, it's all sent to you guys through email. And it's the medicated medium at gmail.com.
The medicated medium at gmail.com. Let's put that in.
Love it.
Are you putting that in the comments?
Yeah, I can put it in the comments.
Also, we wanted to take a moment before we ended the show to highlight some small businesses. So Shannon is running a small business, and if it is something that you maybe want to get for a loved one reading, you can reach out to Shannon and see if you can book a reading. Again, it's going to be into the new year, but you could book a reading for a loved one, and that would be an amazing Christmas present. And then we have a few other small. Do you have any small businesses that you guys want to plug while I pull this up? Anybody?
We do the specialist treats as well. We have where we do the RSO and other things. A lot of other things on there. If they email us there, we have
magical things.
Magical things.
Okay,
yeah, lots of magical things, everything.
Tell us that email again.
That one is the specialist treats at gmail.com.
The specialist.
It's on treats. My TikTok, yeah.
And it's on her TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
And her TikTok is shannon.parish.3333. Is that right? Or did it too many dots?
That's too many dots. Shannon Parish dot and then 4 3s.
Okay. So Shannon Parish .3333.
Perfect. The specialists, singular or more than one?
SPECIALIST.
Treats.
And then treats, yeah.
And then T, yeah.
Yeah, we had to keep the name. We, started with a Magic Munchies name and quickly gained way too much attention for the name and packaging, so we switched to that name.
Yeah. That's probably a good idea.
Yeah, I didn't think about that part.
So go ahead. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. That's it. Christy's turn.
Did you have any small businesses you wanted to shout out? Christy, did you get first?
I love her face.
Yeah.
She's like, no.
She's so cute.
Anything off the top of your head, MJ?
I will give a small business shout out to my little rock shop in Glenwood Springs. It's right down in the main downtown, and I need to get in touch with my my rock star there and see if she would love to come on and talk about different stones and whatnot. I have some stories from her in the ways of a friend moved in next to a cemetery. I went to her rock shop and was like, "Listen, I'm hearing knockings around my house. I live next to a cemetery." She gave her some stones, told her where to put them around the grounds, and no more intrusive knockings and such around the house. And so she's also, we were just chatting, and she was talking about people coming into the shop and saying oh, I heard on TikTok I should get this so that I can do that. And she's like, oh, whoa, you got to back up here, and does actual education about the different stones and
awesome.
and what they're meant for, and so she's amazing. So if you're ever in Glenwood Springs, go to the little rock shop down there on Main Street, and I think it's 9th. So
I'm typing one of these in right now, but I'm going to type these into the comment section so you guys can go to these websites and check them out. The first one is from my beautiful friend, Lynn Lacey. She runs Scentsy Shop. So if you guys like those little candle warmers and the little meltable waxes and stuff, you can definitely find those in her shop. I'm going to post it right here in the comment section. Check out her shop. She has all kinds of cute little deals and stuff over the holidays. And she gets some of the best stuff. You know how those companies work is their top sellers get the best stuff. And she is one of their top sellers every year. She's made a real business out of this, and definitely check her out, especially if your family is into those having the candles burning all the time, or the scents in your house all the time. Definitely check her out for that. Our friend, everybody knows her and loves her, Jen. She has an Etsy shop. I'm going to put that right here too. Her Etsy shop has a lot of amazing apparel. It has a lot of body positive apparel, so definitely check it out. She has all the sizes, and she has some really unique and amazing designs too. So let me put that up. It's called the Body Love Collective. Just putting the little web address in here. I think you have to make that capital. I think that's the only way it'll work. So hopefully I got that right. And we're going to put that in there. So check out that Etsy shop. That's definitely some great apparel for you and your loved ones. We got a couple here. Our good friend V, the traveling vegan writer. I'm going to shout her out too. So if you know any publications that need an amazing writer, she's the one to call. Her name is V Castile, and she is an amazing writer. I love reading everything that she writes, even the little blurbs, the big stuff, the little stuff. I love it all. She gave us a couple of names of some small businesses. One is called House of Weird Perfection. So I'm going to type that in, House of Weird Perfection. You can find their page if you type this name in. You can find them on Facebook, House of Weird Perfection. It looks like a creator site there. She also shouted out Canna Jars ATL. Canna Jars ATL. The name speaks for itself, ladies and gentlemen. And they're in the ATL. So check them out as a small business. Again, that's a Facebook link there, and Herb of Life Cultivation as well. Type that in too. So on every show that we do for the rest of December, which we are going to give you our schedule here in a few minutes, we're going to shout out some small businesses because we want you to shop small businesses, Black-owned businesses, women-owned businesses, and local businesses for the holidays instead of going to those big box stores. So if we can throw out the name of a business that has something to offer that people are looking for the holidays, then that's what we want to do. We want to promote small business, because when you put money into small businesses, that's somebody paying their rent, putting gas in their car, buying their groceries. It's the difference between buying from a corporation who is just continuing to destroy our planet and continuing to pay low wages and be harmful to their employees. We want to build people up in this world, and that's how we're going to do it, through small businesses. If you're out in the St. Louis area, check out Main Ingredient in St. Louis. So that's Main Ingredient, St. Louis, Main Ingredients, St. Louis, STL. So let me type that in. Main. It is a medibles store shop, so definitely check them out. And you can check them out on Facebook as well. Sacred Borders Birth Company. So that is our friend Keisha King. And if you know anybody, I don't know if you want to buy them a holiday gift of I just lost the word. A midwife, is that the right word? That's not the right
Doula,
word.
midwife service.
Doula, that's a better word, of a doula. But you could put somebody who is looking for a doula in touch with them, and she's absolutely amazing. Sacred Borders Birth Company is the name of that. And shout out one last one here is Mighty Kind, BeMightyKind.com. BeMightyKind.com has a variety of CBD drinks, CBG. Also, I believe Delta 8 is in their line potentially. And then they also have a new line of like naked seltzers. I don't think that's what they're calling them, but that's what I'm calling them. But
It's like
they don't have. It's a botanical seltzer. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's no CBD or anything in it, but just a botanical seltzers. Yes, with terpenes. And then I just want to put out Be Mighty Kind, and you can check out BeMightyKind.com too. He has a website. Oop. And those are our picks for small businesses on this show. We are still deciding our schedule, but it is going to be a shorter schedule for December because, of course, the holiday season. We'll be wrapping up the end of the year, probably the calendar's on the other side, probably the week of the 15th, which I don't know what those days are. It's probably be our last week on the air for the year. And then we'll come back for season 2 really strong. And we're really super excited for next season. It will be a whole
1 year
anniversary.
1 year anniversary of our show.
We started talking about this a couple weeks ago in November last year. It came up on your timeline, right?
Yep.
We were like, we're going to do this. And then I was going to therapy every week. And every week in therapy, my therapist would say, have you started your podcast yet? And I say, no, we just got to do this thing and this thing and this thing. And he says, just do it. It's never going to be perfect. And then we would say, oh, we just got to do this thing and this thing and this thing. And he'd just do it. It's not going to be perfect. And finally, January came and I was like, we just got to do it. And then we just did it. We did it.
And I think it was a number thing. I think we did. I think it was 111. I swear to goodness. So we'll have to I'll have to go look. But
yeah,
we chose specifically because of the numbers. But
yeah. And I'm so glad we did. I'm so glad that we came on. This is our first year. Our goal next year is to boost our numbers. So remember to like, follow, subscribe, whatever your options are, do those things. And it will really help us. And also we're going to send invites to people from our Facebook page to like our page and to give us a nice review. So that'll help boost our page and get people seeing us that way too. Those are our goals for 2020, because our big goal is to be a traveling 2022. Sorry, we're not going backwards, we're going forward. 2022. And our big goal is to be on the road. We want to be on the road with this. We want to be places talking to people. We want to be, sitting next to Shannon in her living room instead of so those are our goals for next year. Hopefully we'll get there by mid-year. We have a lot of big plans for next year. But we'll give you guys our schedule. We're not leaving quite yet. We're going to get through some of December. So if you guys have any small businesses that you want us to shout out on the show, please send them to us at cannabiscloset420@gmail.com. You can send us an email every day about it. I don't care. I want to know about all the small businesses. We want to promote all the small businesses, including ours. CQ LLC is cannabis consulting and education. And if you need any help in those arenas, if you need us to help you reorganize, you need us to help you with your admin work or hiring Education is really our biggest focus. Give us a call, 970-426-5985, or you can email us customer service cqllc@gmail.com is where you can reach us. We are really good at rehab. So if you are not sure what is going wrong in your facility, give us a call and we'll help you out. We'll help you figure out what is wrong in the facility. I did just create a new King Palm code, KPTCCP 15.
King Palm.
It can be used 15 times until January 1st. And if it gets all of its uses, I'll make another one. But right now, this is it. KPTCCP 15. Oh, you know what? I did not shout out one business that I wanted to shout out. And that was the whole reason for me thinking we should shout out some small businesses. Smoke 2.0. So let me pull this ad off of here. Smoke 2.0 is a Black-owned out of Missouri hemp wraps. He has tobacco also wraps, so blunt wraps, and he also has hemp papers. I said hemp wraps, they're hemp cones, but they're really good. I love them so much. I need to actually order some of those too, because aside from King Palms, I really do enjoy smoking those hemp cones that he has. When he sent me home with him, I didn't smoke King Palms for over a week. I smoked those hemp cones. So check out Smoke 2.0. Also, if you are looking to get some stocking stuffers, you can get some blunt wraps better than Backwoods. That's what I hashtagged it earlier, better than Backwoods. So go check them out and buy you a Christmas gift. Ladies, I talk a lot. I know. I'm sorry. Did you have any parting words before we leave? Anything you wanted to leave us with? You guys are very interesting.
We're so quiet over here, just like you know.
It's okay.
The only thing I could say is just keep your mind positive, because going into 2022, it's all about abundance. Like that's what 2022 is designed for, coming out of 2019, 2020, 2021. Those were designed to like break where they needed to break so that you could start new. So 2022, all the abundance that you've worked towards to get, it's all coming. It's just a matter of how hard you've worked to get it and what you've gone through. But keeping this positive, that's what makes it come even quicker.
We got it out the mud. That's what we've gone through.
Exactly. But keeping it positive, you'll have nothing but positive.
You should see the wall in front of me right now. I got you, girl. I got positive all over right in front of me.
Thoughts become things, so think about what you want. Don't think about what you don't want.
Absolutely. Language matters. That was our very first episode. Language matters.
Yes.
Yes, language matters, and how you talk to yourself and how you talk about things. We've come on here several times and told people not to say that money is evil, because money is not evil. Some people with money are evil, but money itself is not evil. And we need good people to have money so that money is not evil. It's doing good things, right? So we want you to have a positive mindset around money and around love and around humanity, because that's when those positive things are going to surround you. As always, you know what I say, be nice to yourself and make sure that you put your mask on before assisting others.
Yes, and cultivate love. You deserve it. The world deserves it.
The world deserves it. And everybody, stay lifted.
Stay lifted.
All past episodes are up on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, or Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts. Go check them out. Share them with your friends. Tell everybody about us, because the world needs to hear this message. We love you guys, and we will see you on Monday with a brand new show. Thanks for coming through. Thank our guests too, Witchy Christie and Shannon Parrish. Thanks for coming through and sharing with us. We love you guys.
Bye.
Love you.